This is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had in my life.
Uh huh.
One of the best theater experiences ever. Not because of this movie. Not because of the Secret Life of Pete. Not because of the movie. The movie's pretty fucking bad. But this guy right here.
Yeah. You got a lot of Weedles in your apartment, dude.
Ugh. I sincerely hope that you walk into a fucking pole. Just out in your day, seeing if you're gonna catch a Dratini. Bam!
Well, I already caught a Dratini today. I was at the movie theater.
So, okay. Rewinding a bit, back. Arrived at the movie theater. This guy says, "Hey, there's a Pokemon Center nearby." It's like, oh, this fucking shit. And I see him trying to work it, and I'm saying, I have no patience for this, so I just say, "Bye, see you inside," and I just sit in the theater and I wait. 2 minutes go by. 5 minutes go by. So, Gabe cannot be lost.
You know what you could have been doing to fill that time?
No, I will not. Pokemon Go will never be on my phone. It will not be in my life. It could be in your life.
Oh, it's in your life now.
It could be in...
It's in your life.
Ugh.
As a matter of fact, they're all around you.
I cursed the day.
They are all around you.
I cursed the day you rediscovered Pokemon.
You have a Weedle infestation, my friend. And I'm helping you get rid of it.
Thank you so much. And I swear to God, if I didn't, like, he was still trying to play fucking Pokemon Go as the movie was beginning. As we got to the...
Oh, that's not... You mean as the previews were beginning?
Yeah, as the previews were beginning.
Yeah, I turned it off as soon as the green preview, this is a preview thing, came up. I was like, that's...
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, like, fuck, like, I would not put up with it. I would take your fucking phone away from you.
Well, of course I would expect you to.
All right, thank you. Just so I know.
I'm not that far gone.
It's like, if that, like, that is heroin to you, all right? I know that as a fact, and I have to take it away from you if you ever cross that line.
Oh, it's just like that, this is illegal, the guy holding up the phone, you know what I mean? That thing.
No, I think that's actually regional. Actually, that's regional.
Oh, that is regional, isn't it? Well, they have this thing about, like, this is annoying, and it's like this guy talking during a movie. This is obnoxious, and then it's like, this is illegal. It's a Voldemort-looking guy with a hood, and he's putting his phone up to record, to bootleg the movie,
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking that he's like, you know what? If it's like,
right now,
if you put your phone up to catch a fucking Spearow during the movie,
yeah.
I swear I was not recording the movie. I was catching a Spearow. Honest.
That is just. But.
And you know what? I wish I was doing that.
Because this
movie was...
You want to say it? You hate this movie more than I did.
This movie was almost bad enough to walk out on.
But I stuck with it.
I saw previews before the movie of movies that I could tell would be even worse than this. Very likely worse.
Storks.
Storks. Or whatever that...
Sing. It was Sing.
Anthropomorphic, musical, whatever fuck.
Yeah, the Storks looked god awful. Sing looked unbearable.
Sing. So, for the fact that I knew there were movies worse than this, I sat through.
Made by the same people too. Made by the exact same people.
Yeah.
Enlighten. What was it? Enlighten? No, it wasn't Enlighten. It was Illumination. Yeah, Illumination Entertainment. The people behind the Minions.
But yes, before we go into the movie, though, as we were talking about earlier, my character is Valkyrie Bitch. With a 1 instead of an I. You can find my character, but not in real life. Just
Jesus.
I haven't picked a team yet because I'm not level 5. See, I haven't spent that much time. I'm not level 5 yet.
Anyway,
we're gonna continue.
We're gonna continue about this movie vlog, but as I said, this is one of the most entertaining experiences I've ever had in a theater, because the movie was terrible, and because this guy right here was squirming in his seat, just like pounding himself, just like, this piece of shit. And
I was ready to pound myself in the nuts to the point where I couldn't have children, so that I would never have to, create spawn that have the genes of somebody who has seen this movie.
This movie left an indelible impact on you. Oh God, it was so great seeing him writhe in pain from this stupid movie, and I I don't like this part of myself. I don't like this part of myself. I don't want.
Do you wonder why I enjoy playing Pokemon so much?
It's escapist. I know. You're escaping from this goddamn
You know,
terrible
the
movie.
thing is, when I'm away from here, I don't really play it. It's just when I get here, then it just becomes so much more fun.
Yeah, because you're outside of your home, and that's supposed
And
to.
because
be
I get to watch you squirm, likewise.
Like I don't want to derive pleasure out of this.
What goes around comes around.
Out of my friend's misery.
Yeah.
But oh God, was it delectable? Your misery was palpably, delectably juicy.
I may have deserved it this time. I was being pretty.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you were not. You could not contain yourself.
No, I couldn't.
And neither could the audience actually, because this our audience loved every single moment of this stupid godforsaken movie. I mean, like they not only were they laughing at lulls in the movie, they were laughing to laugh, but they were laughing and repeating the line that they were laughing at,
Yeah.
and saying and the people behind us especially were annoying, you know, literally saying things like, "Oh no, he didn't," or "Oh hell no."
Oh hell no!
Oh, they didn't even bring any kids with them. They're just like, "Oh man, the minions are
I can
so
understand.
funny, man."
Obviously, you can understand the kids, but I don't understand how any.
Like there was a shockingly few amount of kids in that. I mean, we saw a late screening, which might have been no, because like we were at like a fairly late screening of Zootopia, and there were plenty of kids there.
You know what it is? There's so many people who can see something ridiculous and just laugh at it because it was
Yeah,
like a cat making a face, and it's like, oh.
this movie. I mean, the movie itself is predicated upon just the most hackneyed, lazy jokes about pets.
Yeah, it's just there's too many people who are too easily amused by that crap. I'm sorry, I know it sounds really. No, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I know too many people who could just, see like a panda bounce on its stomach or something. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about
the sneezing panda or the sneezing panda video.
or whatever. They just watch a cartoon. You just watch a cartoon of like
Oh, like
of a guy falling on his nuts. Ow my balls. That are like idiocracy.
it's a lot of this movie felt like it was ripped from a parody in Idiocracy.
I know too many people, and we're not talking about dumb people or anything like that. We're talking about some actually pretty smart people who are very competent in what they do in their jobs, but for some reason there's like this gene that kicks in whenever they see something stupid that has to do with like animals usually and
And animals and bodily harm. Usually they go hand in hand. But if you think about broad humor regarding around pets and animals, you will you think about the certain touchstones. Like you think about like, oh, dogs just being mindlessly loyal to their humans. Jokes about that. There's cats love laser pointers. Jokes about that. And pretty much every single go-to jab you could think of, they immediately hone to it.
it takes a long time for them to get into a story. It's just lots of nonsensical. The idea is showing pets what they do when their owners are gone, and that goes on for a good 25 minutes
Yeah,
before the story starts.
yeah,
Just random shenanigans.
yeah. But there are a few things I liked about this movie. One, it caused you a lot of pain, which gave me a lot of enjoyment. Two, this movie loved dogs, hated cats. Every single cat in this movie was either a bad guy, was selfish and absorbed, and the movie took great pleasure and great lengths to humiliate them and just absolutely pour dog shit over them.
This movie had some other odd opinions too.
But like
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But my favorite scene there's no build up to it. There's no like ramping up to it. It's just the pets are in searching for a missing dog, and so they're going into this safe space hideout, and the cat just immediately just gets into a shenanigans. There's no lead up to it, nothing whatsoever. Like she's just like the cat is literally just slipping on shit to slip on shit, and she emerges from the ordeal. An extended 2-minute scene of her just fail, and getting caked in frosting and cheese puffs and whatnot, and just walking away, just trying to walk it off like nothing ever happened, and apparently an animal had videotaped it and it blew up on YouTube, and it's now in New York Times Square, and it's just like, if this was an PG-13 or above rated movie, they would have just had that cat killed. Right after that abject humiliation, she would have just run over by a car in graphic detail. Like, this movie hated cats, just absolutely loathed cats. There was not a single cat character in this movie. There were a bunch of them.
Yeah, so he's a dog person, I'm a cat person, and
we
review movies.
And every time, like, there was a line that's saying, like, I'm a cat, which means I don't give a shit about you or anyone. I just gave this look. I just wanted to, like, you know what? I went on the record saying that I can like cats on a cat by cat basis.
Yeah.
Elsie,
so if it were dogs who were getting it, you would have maybe decided to leave early.
No. I would have said, like, oh, God damn it, because I didn't appreciate how they approached dogs in the movie. Because every single dog was just dumb, hopelessly dumb, and just like daffy. And I just
at least cats were relatively smart. Well, actually not really, but
the cats weren't smart. They were vain and
wily, but
they were vain and vicious.
Yeah.
So it's like animals just did not come out very good in this movie at all. Like, the concept of a pet is just like, oh, they all love you in their own some might say psychotic way.
Yeah, well, overall, about a review of the movie is basically there's movies that are interesting to adults and children alike. This is not one of those. This is one of those movies that you take to see just for your kids.
I don't think even like kids would like it, because
the kids that were in the theater enjoyed it pretty good.
Yeah, but it felt like it felt like this was a movie not made for kids or families. This was a movie felt like it was made for idiots.
Well, okay, well, really young kids, like
really young kids.
3 years old.
Yeah, like
2, 3 years old. Yeah.
Like the movie's attempts at more at humor that the kids won't get is basically revolves around the most obvious music choices for your scene possible. Like, literally, the animals are running down the Brooklyn Bridge, and guess what's playing in the background? The Beastie Boys, No Rest Till Brooklyn. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, rather.
At other points, it's just plain old, like, do 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 do.
It's very Looney Tunes.
Do 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 do.
Very Looney Tunes, which is fine with me, because I miss.
Yeah.
I actually miss themes and scores in movies instead of just being minimalist beats. Like, everyone's Trent Reznor trying to make The Social Network.
It did seem at times like they were trying to go for a almost
like a
Tom and Jerry kind of
merry melodies, that kind of
chase scene kind of thing, but it just didn't hit that mark for me.
It bordered on excessive. Like, the amount of crazy, frenetic, just jumbled, cartoony action chase scenes.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, holy shit, what the fuck was that kind of? It wasn't like Acid Trip. It was just it was still run of the mill.
A lot of it was run of the mill.
Just lots of it. Just oversensitizing.
Yeah, like the lead, like, every single action scene was just like start stop. So it was just like, get him, and then running, and then like this overblown scene where animals are flung 30, 40, 70 feet up in the air, and just like, okay, shit's just thrown out the window. Excuse me for a moment. But like, shit just like the laws of physics, again, cartoon, and yes, it's supposed to be exaggerated. I get that.
It was definitely jam packed. You could say that.
Like, it was jam packed with those kinds of scenes, but like they were so like rapid fire, one after another. It was just like, oh, are we going into a chase scene? Okay. Oh, another one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, another one, and it kind of became like,
it was just so oversaturated. I could hardly watch it at points. It was overwhelming. It was just it's too much.
Yeah, like, and to speak nothing of the plot, the emaciated, barely there plot. It's just a woman has a dog. Yeah. She decides to adopt another dog. The dogs don't like each other, so they try to,
One up each other.
try to one up each other, and then this causes them to get separated from their dog walker, the most fucking responsible dog walker I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they get roped into a bunch of animal rebels who were flushed down the toilet, and so they despise humans. And one of them is a rabbit that's voiced by fucking Kevin Hart, and that rabbit character.
Fucking hated that character.
Because I never was a Kevin Hart fan. I never really liked his comedy. I never I could certainly see why he's popular. I can certainly see why he became like the next rock star comedian. Yeah. But because he has that kind of people love frantic, I use that term frantic, but energetic, high volume comedy.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey was like that. And Sam Kinison was like that. But Sam Kinison and Jim Carrey were talking about Jim Carrey was just silly.
Well, and Jim Carrey usually was doing just him. It wasn't like a voice acting. It was usually himself.
Yeah, it was himself. It was just him doing.
His face had a lot to do with what.
Yeah,
his
he had
craft.
he had a rubber face personality. Yeah. Rubber face personality and an actual rubber face.
He was I think the person who defined rubber face.
Yeah, exactly. What he could do with his face was amazing. And Kevin Hart, even though he doesn't have that kind of facial that kind of expressiveness in his face, still has that kind of ability to just be like that like a very machine gun kind of quickness to his stories and jokes. And I think people really latch on to that. But I don't think that actually translates very well into a scripted comedy. Him as a rabbit is just him, always at 11, just oh, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And if people think volume is funny, then, the little rabbit being voiced by a screaming black dude. Okay, on paper it sounds funny, but...
Yeah, it's just obnoxious.
But literally, his running gag is just him, screaming to the heavens, rest in peace, my friend who was a stork, oddly enough.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was a seagull.
It was a seagull or a stork or an albatross, or it was a bird. It was a bird, and it was just all it is just Kevin Hart just going, rest in peace, buddy, whip pan to a picture of a memorial of this character, and that's it. That's the joke. It's just him being overly dramatic, screaming, bellowing to the heavens over his grief that his dead friend is gone. When that happened, guaranteed instant laugh throughout the entire audience.
Yeah.
And I just those moments is one of those moments are just so infuriating to me. It's I can't believe the fucking shit these guys think are funny. I can't believe how fucking stupid they are.
Speaking of which, he has that one line that I don't think anybody laughed at.
Well, I think people laughed at it, but they laughed at it because it was so silly.
I don't think anybody got it.
Yeah, but it could very well be that... Alright. Okay, this is... Alright. So, towards the end of the movie, Kevin Hart Rabbit has switched sides to try and save his friends that have been abducted by the Pound. And he gets knocked out, and the rest of his buddies still think that the new dog, a little dog that was lost, is still enemies with the rabbit, and they're all trying to corner him. And
even though apparently right prior to this, the rabbit and him alone had decided to make a pact.
Yeah,
but nobody else was there to witness that.
Yeah, so they all think they're enemies, and the dog says no, we're friends now. See, and then the rabbit just says, I don't care what that raccoon said. He ain't a president.
It took me a good 10 seconds.
And
I was at this point just trying not to pay attention to the film, and I just really was.
But then
I was down for the count. I knew what I was in for the whole fucking time,
and then the wheels started turning. It's wait a minute, is this movie calling Obama? I don't want to say it.
It was because it was an animal movie. He was talking about other animals, and I was like, wait a minute, that raccoon ain't the president. Raccoon? Ooh,
yeah.
Shit, man, that is.
Yeah,
that's awkward.
Yeah, somebody I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that the person who wrote that line in the script had no intention of throwing shade at the president.
It just came out of nowhere. This movie is not
Yeah.
does not have any like real any political messages in it that I noticed.
Least of all, or it's not even a political mess. That's just
Or
that's just bigoted hate speech. Like in that context, that
It is, but I mean, what I'm saying is this movie does not have like any message. There's no message in this movie. It's just sheer dumb fuckery.
yeah,
But then there's this one line that comes out of nowhere. This completely weird, just out of left field, bigoted, hateful line that I've looked at this line over and over again. I can't see it in any good light.
yeah,
It's just
like
weird.
I like if somebody told me like if somebody had spoken up about it and said like, hey, that raccoon line, is that supposed to be about Obama? It's like, oh my god, it could be about Obama. Oh my god, I'm so holy fuck. Like it never even occurred to him. Like he just like say something random. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't care what that raccoon said. He ain't the president.
I mean, and then there's the person saying it though.
Yeah,
Right?
and then it's
So-
Kevin Hart saying it. So it's, I mean, it's not like it's supposed to be like Black Shield or anything like that, or
Yeah,
but it just feels like, you know, the person saying
I mean, it's like, is it just like, you know, oh, he's a coon kind of racist bullshit, or is it like, oh, he's black and white, he's raccoon? You don't want to really go into it any more than that.
yeah,
It's
you
too
really
far already.
Yeah, we've already.
Yeah.
We've already like you when you bring it up, it just
Yeah.
just bringing it up is just like this movie just.
But you know what?
this
It
movie-
happened in the movie. It happened. So we have to talk about it. We have to bring it up.
So like I'm willing to give the people behind this movie the benefit of the doubt and saying that like this was just a line that got away from us. We had no intention of
Yeah.
calling Obama a coon. So, but either way, it's just
I already fucking hated this movie though, and I'm happy to completely throw it under the bus.
I mean, but there's a large gap between making a stupid movie and making a stupid, racist, hateful comment, though.
Yeah, there is. I know, but
I mean, like,
what was I gonna? I was not. I was certainly not about to start defending the movie.
oh no, obviously not. But like, I don't feel like this was, like I said, I don't feel like this was a comment made out of some kind of racial hatred for Obama. Certainly not. But it was definitely one of those moments where it's like, maybe it
Let me put it this way: this crummy ass movie gave me absolutely no reason to really want to find a reason that line was not meant to be said that way.
or did not meant to infer.
I mean, I don't want it to. I don't want to think that happened. But I don't care about this movie. I'm not going to try to defend this movie. I'm not going to get behind this movie and go to bat for it.
No,
They can go ahead and explain themselves on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
But like I told, when I explained the plot of the movie, that barely a sentence plot, it becomes like a question of, all right, so how do you fill out the runtime? It's like, well, a lot of running around, a lot of shenanigans. As I said before, this is shenanigans.
It's very Minions-y, I guess. I mean, Minions was one of the shorts, the animated short before this film,
yeah,
and it's just pure chaos.
absolute pure chaos. But it does crescendo into one of the biggest mindfucks of Sage
I was
versus
just
history.
gonna get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll set it up for you. But this was the scene that made me make that face that you will see in the thumbnail. But excuse me, so sorry. But
Mine was just the comment, and everything else actually it was the whole movie. Fuck it.
Fuck it, exactly. But dogs, the two dogs that were enemies, are trying to get back to their owner. And then all of a sudden, they just start smelling sausage.
Oh yeah, they're talking about yeah.
Yeah,
We were all wolves at one time, and I'm like, well, actually, yeah, you are kind of retarded wolves, aren't you?
And you're trying to throw shade at dogs because this movie just lambasted cats. They just like, you were so salty about how they treated cats in this movie. You were just so fucking salty.
I'm not going to start defending cats. I know you want me to, so you can start.
So I get.
No.
But anyway, so they go to the sausage factory and they just eat a bunch of sausage, and then out of nowhere, this movie turns into like a sausage parade, like where they are living in a world. It's like Candyland, but with sausage, and all of a sudden it's Grease's "We Go Together" like chang chang changity chang shabbat.
Yeah.
We'll always be as one.
But it's sausage world.
It's sausage world, and the dogs are just eating a bunch of sausage. Again, no ramping up to it. No. It just immediately cuts away from them eating a bunch of live sausage people, and cut back to a bunch of other pets that are trying to find the two dogs.
Synchronized sausage swimming, sausages lining up and doing chorus dancing, and just sausage world.
Yeah,
Everything.
everything is like the pacing of this movie fucked with my brain, just because of the sheer amount of chase scenes. But I think I'm like my brain just kind of hazed over and like okay, they're eating a bunch of sausage. This is a cartoon factory. No sausage factory operates by hanging meat over these fucking Dr. Seuss machines that are just like parading around like it's Monsters Inc. with the doors, except replace it with steaks, and you have this fucking factory. But all of a sudden, it's like, wait, where are we? Wait, the sausage
That was
land?
actually kind of enjoyable.
It was, because it was just
Yeah.
so like fucking mindfuckery that you just like. Did somebody just slap my brain? What? Where are we? This was
So that part was a more acid trippy stoner kind of moment. Like, what the fuck?
That was the one moment where I realized, hey, this movie is not irredeemable. At the very least, I can honestly say that this movie
Yeah.
fucked with my brain. I mean, I just came back from a movie where Daniel Radcliffe played a farting corpse, and this is the movie that fucked with my brain.
Yeah. It's all about like, just continuity. It's about
Like when you begin a movie with Daniel Radcliffe as a farting jet ski,
but from beginning to end, they never stray from this formula.
yeah, so you're kind of like, all right, I'm with you, movie. Not to like this barrage of near endless, like kinetic scenes of chasing and just like really dumb physical slapstick humor and like the most broad, stupid fucking jokes. Then
And people really just reading their lines like right off the paper, don't give a shit.
yeah, like I can't tell you one about any of the actors in this movie, and there are some good names in here, but we'll get to that in a moment. But there's this wave of like this ride of like just continuous. Oh God, when is this over?
Yeah.
And then it just just takes a hard left turn, and it never brings it up again. Jesus, what a scene! But to go back to the actors for a moment, there was a part of this movie that I was so sure was going to be played by Christopher Walken, and it's
the cat.
No, the Falcon.
Or...
The Falcon.
I thought that might have been Christopher Walken.
No. I thought it was going
very different from what he normally does. He normally just can't escape his wow.
He can't. Like ever since Christopher Walken showed up as the fucking orangutan in Jungle Book.
It was before that, but
Like,
I mean
yeah.
that cemented it though.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
just
ever since that scene, I just like, when am I going to get my next Christopher Walken like mindfuck scene? And I was hoping it was going to be with this character, but it wasn't. It was
it sounded like the Falcon was kind of trying to go for that.
Yeah, like it's Albert Brooks. He's Albert Brooks, and he kind of puts on this weird affectation that kind of sounds like he's doing a bad Christopher Walken impression.
Yeah, like softcore Walken.
Yeah, softcore Walken, and all he does is like he attempts to eat the female love interest dog, and then she just kind of shuts him up about it, and then he just kind of morphs.
Never comes up again.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're friends. Okay. I guess my primal instincts they're okay now.
I guess. But all he does, no real character, like no one in this movie actually has any impact on the plot per se, because
There's hardly any plot.
at all, yeah, it's all based on circumstance and just like shifting.
Like, oh
Shifting-
no, I'm gonna tip this over. Actually, actually, I take that back. It's more like tip over, tip something else over, tip everything over. There's no build up. It's just it's all effect. There's no cause. It's just.
Yep, it's just an explosion of biblical proportions, of animals causing havoc and mayhem and shenanigans. I called it Shenanigans the movie, and I stand by it. In fact, I don't think there's even really anything left to say about this movie right now. It's just
Shortest review. Shortest review.
This movie fucked with my brain for one scene, but what a scene it was. And for that, I can't, it had like an interesting effect on me, so I can't really say I hate this movie. I can recognize it as a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, I can't. No, I hated this movie. I hate it. It was just so obnoxious.
Yeah, but again, like, I mean, if I judged it as a movie, if I judged it purely as a movie, I have to say it's probably the most obnoxious movie we've seen all year.
Yeah, I really hate that. I just hate that in movies.
Mm-hmm. It was obnoxious and idiotic and dumb, but you hating it gave me a joy that, like I have to kind of give the movie credit for. I mean, like, it's not, all right, it's complicated because you can't exactly praise the movie for being so bad it gave you schadenfreude pleasure by watching somebody else view it. But
it did.
But it did.
Because you're a monster. You are a shriveled Voldemort in the corner human being.
I'm a dying fetus of baby thing, and
you're Voldemort's little shriveled husk in the corner of his mind.
I don't deny it. I don't deny it. So if you're the kind of person who has a friend that you like to see, that you like to do stuff to, like I do, and you know that for a fact that minions drive him crazy, take him to see this movie, bolt him in, Clockwork Orange him, and just enjoy the palpable human misery emanating from him. I mean, I could eat that with a steak. It was so thick and juicy. I could eat that like a steak, rather, not with a steak.
God, they talk about those, what was it, emotional vampires or whatever, people who collect energy from other people. But you just you just feed on misery.
Oh, so delicious. Oh, any closing thoughts about this? Their half-hearted attempt at pathos at the end was just ill-advised. When the big brown dog that the little dog's owner brought in and caused this whole fucking plot decided, hey, I used to have an owner. Why don't we go see him? Oh, his other owner died, and of course a cat tells him that. And the cat's just like, oh, he died. Like, how would the cat fucking know? How would the cat know?
Oh, go ahead and say it. Why would the cat care?
No. Well, no. My question really is, how would the cat know if the owner died or not? Because the cat was there after the family moved in, so.
Yeah, maybe it smelled him. And then promptly went and just rubbed up and pissed on the air, sprayed the area.
Actually, now that I think about it, that whole scene was really weird because the dog just went frantic, like, I don't believe you! All cats lie! It's like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, this dog didn't seem to have a problem with any cat until, like, this very moment, and it's never brought up or mentioned again. It's like this...
This movie is just absolutely loathable. And wrong.
It is a very hateable movie, but I can't hate it because you hate it, and I gotta love it. I gotta love the fact that you hate it so much.
It's gonna definitely be in my top 10 worst. Probably gonna be in my top 5 worst. Pretty sure.
Top 10 best for me.
It's the worst one so far I've seen all year. It's fucking horrible. It's a horrible, horrible, shitty fucking movie, and just because of that one line, I wouldn't want to take any kids to see it.
No, even though that line would definitely go over their heads.
Even though it would go over their heads, you know what? It's just not worth it. I wouldn't want to have to sit through it myself. It doesn't have enough creativity in it to inspire, to think it would inspire any children. I'd want to see it, You know, the best thing you can say about it is that it'll captivate your you know your retarded children for a while until
Uh,
for a good couple hours. How long was that movie?
that was about an hour and a half.
Okay.
It felt longer, didn't it?
Yeah.
Especially since that plot just kind of gave up towards the middle. It's like, are we towards the end? Oh, we still got more movie. Great.
Yeah.
Just fucking great. But either way, yeah, I legitimately recognize it as a terrible, horrible movie that you really shouldn't see. But I still love it I still love it. Gotta be honest in these things. Gotta be honest. Till next time.